Hi, class, and welcome to another week of news writing. I'm in the middle of grading your midterms, so if you haven't gotten those back yet, you will this week. Then I move on to Unit 7 and so on and so forth. This week, we are looking at Unit 11, Profiles and Obituaries, Speeches, News Conferences, and Meetings. I've done some profiles, mainly of elected officials or candidates running for office. I haven't done really too many obituaries, but that doesn't mean that if you go into this field, you may end up doing that. So I think it's good to um, read over in the chapter. I'll be focusing more on the profiles. When it comes to speeches, news conferences, and meetings, yes, you do a lot of that as a reporter. I've done a lot of that, and so we're going to be going over that in more detail. I'm going to share my screen with you. And we'll go over some of the things for the unit this week. Students will learn how to report and write personality profiles, learn selectivity for vignettes and basic obituaries, learn how to cover news conferences and meetings, how to select quotes for speeches, learn about online speeches and press conference resources. We'll have one discussion due on Sunday, the celebrity profile, which I will go over with you later. Yes, and that's about it. So let's go over the two chapters. And we will start with profiles and obituaries, chapter 17, some coaching tips for profiles, show the source in action, do background research to find unusual questions the subject will enjoy discussing, check social media for background, find a unifying theme for your profile. For obituaries, what makes this person memorable? Always check accuracy of spelling and information. You should do that for all of your stories. It's very important. It opens up starting with profiles. This is Alan Richman. It's a story about him interviewing Robert De Niro. It's a good story in here, so definitely read that. Some takeaways from this: celebrities are considered worthy of profiles because they have accomplished something more special than the average citizen. However, many profiles focus on people in the community who have done something noteworthy but do not have celebrity status. Everyone's got one good story to tell, Richmond says. If you talk to them long enough, you'll find it. Nobody has lived a totally uneventful life. Before you even get to the interviewing stage, you should research your subject's background. If possible, try to get a resume, check social media and online sites, but don't rely on the information. Don't trust press releases or clips. Always ask about background stuff. Turning points, patterns. Some lives writers should consider the following universal elements: patterns. Some lives build to a climax, as for a law school student who becomes a judge. Decisive moments or turning points. Most lives take turns along the way. Future. Every profile subject has a future, and you need to ask your subject what could lie ahead. The goal method: consider some of these questions as they arise naturally in the conversation. Why is this person newsworthy? What will be your focus of the profile? What has this person done that would be of interest to readers? This is some profile planning tips. There is background research, check the internet, social media, resume, get a photo, ask coworkers, students, or other people about the person before the interview to get tips on questions to ask. You could also interview these people after the interview. Check everything you can about the person's background before the interview. Goals. These are questions to ask. What were your original goals? Obstacles. What obstacles did you face in accomplishing your goals? Achievements. What pleasures or problems have those achievements brought? Logistics. What background, logistics of who, what, when, where led to your current situation? How has your past influenced you? Some basic elements of profiles: focus. What is the main idea of the profile? What makes this person newsworthy? Theme, the angle or recurring idea that weaves throughout the story. Overcoming adversity, succeeding against odds, coping with failure, illness, or serious problems. Background. Profiles should not be written in chronological order. The subject's background should be inserted where it fits best, often in the middle of the story, but in some cases, when the background is the most interesting or crucial element, it may be the lead or in the beginning of the story. Age and physical description. Help the reader visualize your profile subject, but use description only when it is relevant to the topic you are discussing. Make the details work for you. Other points of view. Seek anecdotes and comments from friends, family, colleagues, and other people affected by the person at work. Visuals. Use graphics as a way to visualize your story in both the planning and writing stages. Outlining your profile by planning a facts or highlights box can help you determine what topics to include in your story. If the background is boring, break it out of your story. Vital statistics: occupation, birthday, birthplace. My fantasy is, if I could change one thing about myself, it would be the best times of my life. Behind my back, my friends say these words best describe me. All different things you could ask or bring up during a profile. There's a section on a micro profile. I thought this was just kind of interesting. Can you describe yourself or your profile subject in 6 words? Consider the poignancy of these 6 words: for sale, baby shoes, never worn. These words were written by Ernest Hemingway when he was challenged to write a 6-word story to win a bet. So that's kind of a weird 6-word story, but the point is trying to tell a story in just a short amount of words. Using that concept, try to condense your profile into 6 words that would leave a lasting impression. Also, helpful with Twitter. We've mentioned throughout the semester how, if you're figuring out how do I tweet, what are the most important basic elements of the story, what is the dominant impression you want to create, those ideas might help you form your focus by considering the most important elements to include in your profile before you write the story. Snapshot profiles or brief profiles showcasing a slice of life or vignettes of people. Organizing the profile. There is no one way to organize a profile other than having a lead, a body, and an ending. Just make sure that you have a focus. The body of the story can be organized in many ways, so take time to go through this and look at all that. Check the internet and social media for background of your profile subject, but don't rely on the information. Make sure you check the accuracy of the information that you get. Obituaries. Obituaries are also profiles, but the subjects are dead. However, you don't write about the person's death, you write about his or her life. This is Marilyn Johnson. The obituary pages, it turns out, are some of the best read pages in the newspaper, she wrote. Obituaries are history as it is happening. Tell me the secret of a good life. I really like that. Recently, the oldest woman in the world died. I think she was 119 in Japan. And it was an Associated Press article, and I was actually looking for more of that. Sometimes when you see this oldest person living or has died, they give you those little bits of the secret to a good life. Look up that article if you're interested, or look up that person. You might be able to find some interesting articles. Obituaries also described as character portraits filled with details of how the person lived, warts and all. Obituaries tend to be flattering portraits, but